Hello children, today we shall start with the chapter mole concept and stoichiometry. So what is mole concept? Let's see that in detail. We know the substances are broadly divided into compounds and elements. What do compounds comprise of? Compounds comprise of molecules and elements comprise of atoms. So these atoms and molecules are too tiny or too small to be measured or counted. So just as we have a dozen means 12, 1 kg means 1000 grams, similarly the particles of substances can be calculated in moles. So what is 1 mole of a substance? Before that, let us see what is atomicity. What is atomicity? It is the number of atoms that constitute a molecule. Now we need to understand this concept very well. That is, when we are talking about hydrogen gas, chlorine gas, nitrogen gas, these are all diatomic gases. So the atomicity of these molecules are 2. So hydrogen, if you are talking as elemental hydrogen, it has 1 atom. But the atomicity of hydrogen is 2 because 2 atoms of hydrogen constitute and make 1 molecule. Next, there are some concepts that we need to understand before we go into the numericals of this chapter. One of that is relative atomic mass. We have also seen this last year, but what is a relative atomic mass? It is nothing but the atomic mass of a particular element. It's the atomic mass of a particular element with respect to 1/12 of the mass of a carbon 12 atom. The next concept is that of a mole. So what is a mole of a substance? 1 mole of a substance is nothing but 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 particles of that particular substance. So if we are talking in terms of atoms, okay, suppose we are talking in terms of atoms of carbon in this case, then it means 1 mole of carbon consists of 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms of carbon. This could be atoms, it could be in terms of ions, IONS ions, or it could be in terms of molecules. So suppose you are talking of a diatomic gas like oxygen, chlorine, hydrogen. So 1 mole of hydrogen gas will consist of 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 molecules of hydrogen. So that many number of particles. So the number is fixed. It is decided, that is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. So this number, which is a constant number, is also called as the Avogadro's number, Avogadro's constant or Avogadro's number. It helps us to calculate the moles of a substance. So if we are talking about a water molecule, okay, 1 single molecule of water, the molecular weight is 18. How do we come to 18? It is hydrogen has atomic weight 1, but there are 2 hydrogens here. So 2 plus 16, which is the atomic weight of oxygen. So 2 plus 16 is 18. So with that we get the molecular mass of hydrogen to be 18. Okay. So if the molecular mass of hydrogen is 18, what is the Avogadro's constant? 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. So that many number of molecules are present in 18 grams. So whatever is your mass here, what we see, whatever is your mass over here, that is nothing but the number. It will be that many grams as per its atomic mass or its molecular mass. Suppose you are talking of only an element, then its atomic mass will become the number of grams for 1 mole. If it is a molecule, okay, if it is a compound we are talking in, then in that case the molecular mass in grams will be its 1 mole substance. We'll have this topic or this concept more clear when we see a few more examples. So first let's see what is this law. Avogadro's law states that equal volumes of all gases under similar conditions of pressure and temperature contain equal number of molecules. And what is the number of molecules? That is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Now we need to see three more definitions before we go ahead. The first one being relative molecular mass and formula mass. Before that, we start with relative atomic mass. So what is a relative atomic mass? It is the mass of an atom of an element in relation or relative to hydrogen. So whatever is the mass of an atom of an element in relation with hydrogen is known as its relative atomic mass. Also many times referred to as RAM, relative atomic mass. Now the next concept, RMM. That is, what is the relative molecular mass? So relative molecular mass, it tells us how many times a particular molecule of a compound is heavier than a hydrogen atom. So in comparison with hydrogen atom again. The next is the relative formula mass. What is the relative formula mass? It is the sum of the relative atomic masses of all the ions in a single formula unit of an ionic substance. And what information it gives us? It tells us how much heavier a formula unit of a compound is than that of a hydrogen atom. Okay, so these are the three important concepts, that is relative atomic mass, which is nothing but mass of an element in the relation with hydrogen. So it tells you how much an element is heavier than a hydrogen atom. Relative molecular mass tells us how much a molecule of a compound is heavier than a hydrogen atom. And lastly, that is the relative formula mass, which tells the sum of the relative atomic masses of all the ions of a single formula of an ionic substance. Now let us see the mole concept with examples so that our concept is more clear to us. So as I said, while a dozen of apples, while a dozen, it represents how much? That is 12. Okay. So how much will 1 mole of apples represent? So 1 mole of apples will represent 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 apples. So similarly, if you have 1 mole of helium, any gas for that matter, now we are considering helium. So if we have 1 mole of helium, that time it would mean that it is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms of helium. Now why atoms of helium? Because helium is a noble gas. It is a monoatomic gas. Now if you are talking about sodium, 1 mole of sodium would also represent 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms. Now if you see on the screen, all the numbers are represented as instead of 6.022 as 6 into 10 to the power 23. Here an approximation is made. Whenever you are solving numericals, you are supposed to take the number 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. But in case there is a numerical where the value is given as 6 into 10 to the power 23, it is only for the ease of calculation, and at that time you will have to take it as 6 into 10 to the power 23. Otherwise, in all other cases, the standard value of Avogadro's number is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Okay. So now let's see an example where we are having a compound, like say carbon monoxide. Okay, so when we are talking about carbon monoxide, 1 mole of carbon monoxide will also contain 6 into 10 to the power 23 molecules of carbon monoxide. So it does not matter. It does not matter whether it is a atom, whether they are ions or whether they are molecules. 1 mole means 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 particles of that substance. Let us see the relationship between mass, moles and molar mass. So mass is what? Mass is going to be something that is going to be in grams. Whatever value we get maybe in grams. Very rarely they'll have questions maybe in kilograms or something, but mass is always calculated in grams here. Moles will be a number and molar mass will also be a number. So from where you get the molar mass? We get the molar mass by adding the atomic weights of all the molecules present into that particular compound. So for that you are going to get your molar mass. So the formula is simple. Mass is equal to moles into molar mass. So if you want to find out from that, if you want to find out the another formula, that is you want to convert to the formula for moles, you're going to get moles is equal to mass upon molar volume. And if you want to find it out for molar mass, it's going to be molar mass is going to be equal to mass upon number of moles. Mass upon number of moles will give you the molar mass for a particular compound. Similarly, let us see the relationship between number of atoms, moles and Avogadro's constant. So number of atoms is equal to moles into Avogadro's constant. And what is this Avogadro's constant? That is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. So if you want to find out how many atoms are present in whatever number of moles of a substance, you're going to multiply the number of moles into Avogadro's constant. Similarly, from this one formula, we can generate the formula for moles and as well as for Avogadro's constant. Okay. So moles is equal to number of atoms upon Avogadro's constant, and Avogadro's constant is equal to number of atoms upon moles. Let's see it with an example. 1 mole of helium, okay, 1 mole of helium will weigh 4.0 grams. Why it is going to weigh 4.0 grams? If you see, the atomic weight of helium is 4. It has 2 protons, 2 neutrons. So its atomic weight is 4. That's why 1 mole of helium will have 4 grams. Okay, so it's very easy to calculate. It's very easy. So can we just tell how much it will be for hydrogen? Since hydrogen has 1, okay, atom of hydrogen's weight will be 1 gram. But a hydrogen molecule will have weight of 2 grams. I hope that this is clear. Let's take an example of sodium. What is atomic number of sodium? Atomic number of sodium is 11, but we know it has 12 protons. So its atomic mass is 23. So in that case, what is going to be the mass of what will be the weight of 1 mole of sodium? 1 mole of sodium will have 23 grams. 1 mole of sodium will have 23 grams. So now let's come back to this example of helium itself. So helium, which 1 mole will weigh 4.0 grams, it will consist of 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms of helium. And the volume in liters, how much space will it occupy? What is the volume of this much 1 mole of helium? It is going to be 22.4 liters at STP, that is standard temperature and pressure. We will see the STP concept a little ahead in this video. So again, coming to molar mass, as I explained with the example of sodium, sodium atom is 23 times heavier than hydrogen atom. Therefore, 23 grams of sodium will contain 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms of sodium. So similarly, we can say for another case of carbon monoxide, 28 grams of carbon monoxide will be 1 mole of carbon monoxide. That is, it will contain 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 molecules of carbon monoxide. Now let us see how we calculate the mass of a mole of a substance. So that is, if we have 1 gram of molar mass of elemental hydrogen, okay, why the mass is considered as 1 gram? Because its atomic number or atomic weight is also 1 in this case. And if you're seeing for molar mass of hydrogen, it is 2 grams. Why is the molar mass for hydrogen 2 grams? Because its molecular mass that time is going to be 2. The molecular mass there will be 2. Similarly, for sodium, it is going to be 23. We just seen how it will be 23 for sodium. That is 12 protons and 11 protons and 12 neutrons. That makes it 23, the atomic weight, and hence it is 23 times heavier than hydrogen, and that's why 23 grams of sodium will be the molar mass of sodium. So this is a representative chart of how we convert or how we interconvert from 1 mole of substance. From 1 mole of substance, we can get the mass of the substance. How we will get that? That is molar mass divided by 1. And if you have the mass, you can get the number of moles. If we have mass, we can get number of moles. And how is that possible? That is 1 mole upon the molar mass, we will get the number of moles of that particular substance. Now next, from the number of particles, from the given number of particles, if they tell you how many atoms are present or how many molecules are present, we can find the number of moles. And how can we find the number of moles? We can find it out by putting 1 upon 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 into the number given. So then you will get the number of moles, and from the number of moles we can also get the number of particles, that is number of moles into 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 upon 1 mole of the substance. So this is how you are going to get the interconversion. Similarly, we can also work it out for the volume of gas. Whenever a volume of gas at STP has to be found out and the number of moles is given, so number of moles into 22.4, number of moles into 22.4 will give you the volume of gas at STP. And if you know the volume of gas at STP, to find the number of moles, you will have to just divide the volume of gas with 22.4. So this is the relationship chart for all these formulas that we have seen till now. So what's the molar volume of a gas? The molar volume of a gas is a volume occupied by 1 mole of substance, that is a gas, at standard temperature and pressure. The experimental value of the gas at STP is 22.4 liters. So just as we remember Avogadro's number as 6.022 into 10 to the power 23, similarly we need to remember the molar volume of a gas. All the gases at standard temperature and pressure will weigh, that is 1 mole of that particular gas will weigh 22.4 liters, will have the volume of 22.4 liters. This is what we have to keep in mind. Next comes the vapor density. So what is vapor density? It is this volume of the vapor of a substance, to the mass of the same volume of hydrogen. So we are comparing it as against hydrogen. So any vapor, that is of any gas, the vapor divided by the same volume of hydrogen under similar conditions of temperature and pressure. In simple words, we can say vapor density is nothing but molecular mass divided by 2. Vapor density is equal to molecular mass divided by 2. The next concept here is empirical formula of a compound. The empirical formula of a compound tells us the simplest positive integer ratio of atoms present in a compound. So what is the empirical formula? We have seen before this molecular formula. If a molecular formula can be reduced, it can be reduced by taking HCF, then such a formula is called as empirical formula. We shall see that in the upcoming slides. Okay, before we go and see other numericals, let us just recap what this STP is. We have learned this last year. STP is an abbreviation for standard temperature and pressure. Sometimes is also referred to as NTP, that is normal temperature and pressure. In this case, the temperature should always be taken as 0 degree Celsius. 0 degree Celsius. And the pressure is 1 atmosphere. We should also remember that pressure is also measured at 760 millimeters of Hg, 760 millimeters of mercury, or 76 centimeters of mercury, 76 centimeters of mercury or 760 millimeters of mercury. So this is what the standard temperature and pressure values are, which we may have to use in numericals. Okay, let's see a numerical where we have to calculate the vapor density. What is given? The questions reads, the atomic weight of chlorine is 35.5. Calculate its vapor density. So what is the molecular weight of chlorine? That is 35.5 into 2, because chlorine is diatomic. So its molecular weight is 71 units. So vapor density of chlorine is molecular weight divided by 2, that is 71 divided by 2, which works out to be 35.5. So vapor density of chlorine is 35.5. Now let's see one more example. Calculate the volume of 7.1 grams of chlorine at standard temperature and pressure. Okay, so what is given? Molecular weight of chlorine we know, that is 71 grams. Now 7.1 grams of chlorine is occupying, okay, how much it is going to occupy volume? It's going to occupy 22.4 liters at STP. Just now we have seen what is STP. The gas is going to occupy 22.4 liters. So liters can be converted into decimeter cube. It's one and the same thing here. So it could also be mentioned as liters over here. It could also be mentioned as liters in this case. Okay. So 71 grams of chlorine will occupy 22.4 liters at STP. That is standard temperature and pressure. So 7.1 grams of chlorine will occupy how much? That is equal to 22.4 into 7.1 upon 71. So if you just recalculate the whole thing, it is nothing but 2.24 liters at STP or decimeter cube at STP. So how to calculate molecular weight? Molecular weight means molecular weight is 22.4 into whatever is the value given in grams upon the molecular weight. So these are some numericals that are very simple to do. You may solve some more numericals given from this topic from your textbook. Next, let's see the concept of empirical formula and molecular formula. So empirical formula is the simplest whole number ratio of elements, whereas a molecular formula is the actual whole number ratio of multiples of the empirical formula. Now, in many cases, the empirical formula and molecular formula could be the same. As we see in this examples here, carbon dioxide or water, they have the same empirical formula and molecular formula. Why? Because the molecular formula cannot be further reduced. But if we see the next examples, we can further reduce the molecular formula.